Hi, I'm Manga Captor and welcome to another video. Currently there is a storm rolling in. I'm in my cozy sweater. I have some cozy lighting, although that lighting really is due to the fact that there's a storm outside that is blocking all sunlight, so it's dark. In this video, I want to share with you the best things that I've read recently, and I thought it would be fun to rank them from good to best. So stick around till the end of the video to see what the best thing was that I read most recently. But in order to get to the top, we gotta start at the bottom. And at the bottom, just barely saved from elimination is... it's upside down. The Other Worlds books depend on the bean counter, the light novel volume 2. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was good, which is why it's on this list. It's a good story, but the lack of editing or polishing really prevents it from being a great story. The writing is repetitive, it's overly wordy at times. It's also mildly annoying that the author continues to repeat information that we already know, as if we're hearing it for the first time. But I digress. Despite these issues that I have with the writing of this series, I find the characters to be really fun to read about, and the conflicts that occur in this story are just fun and engaging, so I'm very much enjoying this despite my little nitpicks. And also there's pictures, so that's a plus. And next up on the list is BL Metamorphosis Volume 2. This is such a sweet slice of life series that focuses on the friendship between an elderly woman and a young girl that bond over BL. BL is a brand new genre to this elderly woman, and she's introduced to it by this young girl who soon becomes her friend. This young girl gives her so many recommendations and just really helps her get into the genre. And they soon become friends and just talk about BL, but also about life, and it's such a sweet series. And next up on my list is XXX The Omnibus Volume 3. I really enjoyed this collection of volumes. I feel like the plot is thickening. I feel like the stakes are getting higher, the mystery is getting more mysterious. I really can't say much about this series, but it's basically this beautiful supernatural story that is created by Clamp, and we follow Watanuki, who has the ability to see spirits. He doesn't want this ability. He bumps into this witch's house who agrees to help him get rid of this supernatural power, but he has to kind of become her housemaid and also her assistant as she takes on clients and helps them with their requests. And as the story continues, he makes some friends that are very important to him, and seeing their friendship bloom is so precious, and I'm just really curious where the story is going. I know that XXX doesn't necessarily have the most conclusive ending, and then they came out with XXX Re, and that also kind of ends on a cliffhanger. You know, it's a classic thing that Clamp does. They make these really fun supernatural stories and they give you no clear ending. But I've already made peace with that, and I'm just enjoying the story so much. I love those characters. I just love them so much. And next on my list is a novel. This is The Samurai's Garden by Gail Tsukiyama. This is a book that I got from a library sale for 50 cents. I'm someone who usually really loves covers and won't really be interested in a book unless it has a cool cover, and I picked this up and I honestly don't think the cover is good, but I don't know, I had this feeling that I should just pick it up because it seemed interesting, and it was. This story is very simple. It follows a Chinese man who is ill. His family tells him to relocate to this home in rural Japan to see if being by the sea would be better for him for his condition. But he is very torn about this because Japan is invading China, and he is just very fearful for his family back home. And we kind of see this push and pull because he is enjoying his time in Japan. He is enjoying friendships that he makes with Japanese people. He's enjoying the culture, but at the same time he feels all of this disgust for what the Japanese army is doing. He struggles at times. We see him have good days and bad days. We see him connect with people in such important ways, and I really enjoyed this. And next on my list is Circe. I've talked about this book on a previous reading log, and I had a lot of fun annotating this one. I was able to get a used copy, so I just had fun writing in the pages, highlighting them, etc., etc. And overall, I enjoyed this book. This is just the story of Circe. She narrates her story from the beginning. She shares about her childhood and her upbringing. There are lots of trigger warnings in this book, so I would definitely check them out before picking up this book, because it gets pretty intense. But we follow Circe's growth from a child that is just poorly nurtured and therefore thinks she's not strong or resilient or powerful. We see that child transform into someone that is honestly pretty badass. She's a witch. She learns that she can do witchcraft. And eventually Circe does something bad, and this basically gets her in trouble with Zeus. And Zeus is like, you are going to stay over there in a remote island forever. And you would think that would stop her, but she just only grows more into her magical goddess likeness. Yes, I enjoyed it. I will say I wish that there was more like witchcraft scenes. You definitely do get them in here. You get some really nice visuals of the nature around her as well as the potions that she's brewing, but I wanted more because it was just so well done, and more is more. And next on the list is Usotoki Rhetoric Volume 6. This is a fun series that I've talked about a lot. This basically follows this girl named Kanoko who can hear lies, and she moves to a new town where nobody knows her because she has been severely bullied for her ability of hearing lies. People think that she's a freak, a monster, so she just decides to move. And she bumps into this detective who notices her knack for recognizing lies, and they make an unbeatable duo when it comes to solving mysteries. And in this volume in particular, Kanoko really shines, and it really made me smile from ear to ear, so I thoroughly enjoyed this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems, and everything in between, we have reached the top 5 of this list. The 5th best thing that I read was Hira Yasumi. I'm a big slice of life fanatic. It's my favorite genre, you may have noticed. And Hira Yasumi just does a wonderful job of bringing another fantastic story to that genre. This follows our main character Hiroto, who doesn't have a salary job, doesn't have a girlfriend, doesn't have plans for the future really, and people think he's kind of strange for that. But he is just living his best life. He's just going with the flow, living day by day, and he befriends this elderly woman, shares meals with her, and they have such a sweet friendship that I'm really eager to learn more about. But sadly, she passes away, and Hiroto inherits her house. And Hiroto, being the kind sweetheart that he is, decides to invite his cousin to live with him. His cousin is in a very different stage of her life. She is starting college, and she's very unsure about a lot of things. And she kind of just seems to be very high-strung and stressed out. So seeing Hiroto's easygoing lifestyle, easygoing mood, it kind of infuriates her from time to time. So there's an interesting dynamic there going back and forth between the two of them. And I'm just really enjoying it. It's such a simple story, and that is all you really need. The 4th best thing that I read was What Did You Eat Yesterday, Volume 21. This basically is just a romance between two middle-aged men who share meals together, and we get to see glimpses into life in their workplace, in their homes, with their friends, etc., etc. And it's just fun. It's such a fun, cozy time because these characters just really grow on you and they mature, and just getting to see them get closer and closer is just so rewarding, and I love it. I love it so much. And the 3rd best thing, or technically it's the 2nd best thing, because the best thing I read this month is like 2 volumes of the same series. So, you know what I mean? So this is like the 2nd best series that I read, and that was Volume 12 of Witch Hat Atelier. Witch Hat Atelier makes you think that it's a cozy series. It's not. It's really not. It has cozy moments. It has these depictions of scenes that seem very quaint and comfortable. But dude, this story is crazy. And that is what I love about Witch Hat Atelier. The writing is superb. The artwork, amazing, immaculate actually. It is so rich. There is so much here to pick apart. There's so much to dig deep into, to really analyze and think about. And I love that. I love that it isn't just this surface level story. There are so many ways to look at it. And oh my gosh, I just get so passionate whenever I talk about this series because I love it to death. Alright, and now we're at the top of the list. These last 2 volumes are my number 1. The best thing that I've read recently, 100%. And that is Volume 7 and Volume 8 of Shonen Note Boy Soprano. I love this series so much, and I'm so sad that it's over. This is one of my favorite series, and of course it is because it's made by Yuki Kamatani, the same person that made Nabari no, which is like right over there. See? Same person. This series is about a young boy who joins a school choir, and everyone on the school choir is so excited to have him because he has such an angelic, beautiful soprano voice. But something that is on the back of his mind and other people's minds is that he's going to get older and that soprano voice is going to go away, and that puts a lot of pressure on our main character. Yutaka is mostly thinking about the fact that he loves to sing. He's not necessarily hyperfixating on the fact that he's going to go through puberty one day, but these people around him make him feel claustrophobic about this, and this leads to an identity crisis. And this story doesn't just focus on his journey, it also talks about some other characters. There seems to be some queer characters, some characters who simply have a hard time saying how they feel, some characters just feel like they don't belong. I just really enjoy the entire cast of characters, and I'm happy that a lot of them get their moment. Man, this last volume, yeah, I was so happy to see the ending, but at the same time I was so sad because I wanted more. I just grew so close to these characters and I didn't want the story to end. This series is just such a masterpiece and I just absolutely adored it. And that concludes my list of the best things I've read recently. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give this video a like. If you'd like to watch more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. I love receiving comments from you guys. You guys are so kind and it really motivates me to keep doing these videos. So a big thank you to all of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!